I'm having a good 24 hours here, so let's make it last.
Make it last forever.
Make it last forever. Yo, welcome to the I Believe Dreamers Behind the Showcase with Lens Mang and David Delisca.
Yeah.
Oh, that's how we're just gonna start like that. So make sure you subscribe to I Believe Dreamers. Make sure you what, Lens? IBLV TV. You know, check us out on
IBLV
Instagram.
TV on IG. That's what it is. Sorry, I was lagging.
The first step is the furthest. It takes courage to be nervous. Dreamwalker, feel your way through. None of it is worthless.
I believe in hope, and I believe that sometimes we fail, we make mistakes and those type of things, but I believe in perseverance.
It's all love, yo. Big ups. Today, I'm not even gonna be hyped with this intro because, like, you don't even need any hypeness. This is my real model. This is someone who is an incredible person, an incredible writer, incredible performer, actor, comedian, host, as well as like an incredible coach for writers, for poets, and creates such dynamic creative writing workshops or even just social justice, whatever the topic is. Actually, I remember when we've done a few like anti-bullying assemblies, and that shit is fun. Excuse my language, young people. But yeah, I just want to introduce David Delisca, who was part of our showcase. And the first question I have is like, how was the experience preparing for the showcase? Because I remember we'd have sessions and you're like, I kind of know the theme, but I don't necessarily know exactly what it was. So what was that process for you?
Yeah, it was it's interesting in a sense where I was trying. I always try to have a purpose for whatever I perform or decide to share, not perform. Whatever I decide to actually share, I want to have a purpose, and I just wanted to try to find a focus that was not just hit on the nail type of thing, but as well as has certain nuances and understandings that are personal to me, and as well as hopefully um, um, either inspirational or have a reach or to other folks as well. And so I think for me it was like just trying to think about how to overcome limitations um, in comparison to what life is usually like outside of 2020. Not,
Wow, word.
and trying to adapt and as well as still stay true as an artist to yourself, because adaptation sometimes can be like removing something rather than reforming it and reshaping it. I want to remove a lot of things about who I am or what I care about, but I want to try to reshape and as well as um, create some stuff that I felt that I really enjoy and as well as could be helpful in some type of way.
No, I
You're,
appreciate it. It looks like Lens wanted to say had a question.
yeah. I just wanted to chime in with something. So,
Yeah.
Jermaine, you may even know the answer to this, just because I didn't end up, I wasn't able to make it out to the actual recording session, but I remember watching it and being like, damn, like this is like super strong. And I feel like I remember there was like two sides to it. And the question I had, and this is where both you guys can, well, David can answer, both you guys may know. How did you like, because as far as I'm concerned, you guys didn't talk to the band before that day, right?
No, it was that day. Right.
That's what I mean. How did you get that to work like so perfectly? I know you guys probably did a rehearsal, but still, like that was like, I don't know, that was just like crazy to me.
Oh man, I am a person that truly am a fan of improvising, creating, learning, growing,
Word.
make mistakes. Let's try to see how we bounce through these mistakes. Let's just try to see what each other have. I'm a fan of ciphering at the core of it. And so when I have the opportunity to collaborate with, particularly with musicians, I think for me it's just like truly about living in the moment. Truly, truly, truly about living in the moment and trying to be there and be present. And so I think it worked out the way that it worked out because we try to celebrate that moment and try to we are here now. So before only matters in a sense if you're transmuting it to this moment and creating and qualifying this moment further. But outside of that, before doesn't really matter. Now matters.
Yo, like, fam, from the time that, okay, first of all, I missed your rehearsal because I had to do so. So I missed your rehearsal, which I was like a little tight about because I genuinely enjoy watching perform. And some pieces thing is, I was actually there with me and you and Tamaj when you're going through a cappella with your verses. And
yeah.
I remember all the wordplay that you're dealing with. It was incredible. But then once you came with the band, it was like, oh. And I guess because so many times of you doing right beside you working with different bands, but also your stage presence. From time that you walked on, my G, you walked on and you just came right with some confidence. Yet the first thing that you said was, "It takes courage to be nervous." Yo, fam,
Hey, he was on key. He was on key. Don't let nobody tell you differently.
All right, yo, I'm trying. Yo, you're my real model, like I said, and that was just so amazing how even though we were socially distanced, right? So there's only about 10, 13 of us in the room, but even how you were looking around, like your stage presence, it was like you were speaking and your heart was speaking to a room full of people.
Yeah.
And you're so present in that moment. And then one moment that I want to even go to is when you settle down the band. So of course there's different cues and you settle down the band. And you went a cappella just speaking to us, and it actually hit in a different way. And I'm trying to remember if this is the time when you're you're pretty much talking about vulnerability and making vulnerability strong. And you go, Incredible Hulk.
The Incredible Hulk of bare emotions.
Bare emotions. So how was that for how did you think about the arc of it, from the music to the pausing it and going forward?
So anytime I'm doing more than one poem or more than one piece, rather than let me use the terminology piece versus poems, because it can be anything. They're all poetry to me, but I look at it as pieces together. How can I tell an overall story or overall layered understanding of what I am trying to explore? And with that set, I wanted all these pieces to come together, and because overall it's really I guess for lack of better terminology, it's approaching what a dreamer, and particularly for me, may experience. And there's a lot of different things through confidence, through assuredness, through doubt, instability, courage, hope. All these different aspects kind of help really explore these different things. And so for me, I always try to represent that. If I'm doing more than one piece, I want to make sure I try to take the opportunity to really consider what goes into this and what is that I'm thinking about. I guess I have the inability to have a one-track mind. When I start thinking, I'd be thinking, what about this? What about that? What made this happen? Why is this? How did it get here? How do we, it's just the way I naturally think, I guess. And so a set, I would love a set to, as well as portray that as well.
It's wild because I've said this to you before, because I remember when we made it, we had winners, and you sent me your verse, And I was like, yo, you wrote it for me. It's like you wrote me, and then you're like, yo, we, like, this is us. And I really felt that from that performance, you know, from like, this is for all my dreamers, the 9 to 5, 10 to 6, you know, like that was so helpful, at least for me as a dreamer, and looking at it, and you really embracing the notion of being nervous, embracing the notion of having doubt, embracing that even on my darkest nights is when I'm the brightest, right? Oh man, the imagery that you're playing with, and you really, by the end, I'm telling you, my G, by the end, I felt like I could do it. Let me try. If I want it to happen, baby, I'm gonna try. And if I try, then if I try and fail, I fail forward. So there's so much that I know I'm kind of going off because I literally.
Oh no, I mean, there's a storyteller. I mean, there's people think of storytelling as like, okay, oral storytelling only. Everything has a story. Everything tells a story. Patterns tell a story. You know, tendencies tell a story. And in that set, you know, like as I was talking about, we opened it with, you know, the first step is the first step is the furthest. It takes courage to be nervous. And even then, I wanted to contextualize, you know, a feeling or something that kind of explains, if I understand this part, other things will make sense too. And that comes from me as an artist, and trying to go and trying to be a better artist, trying to be a better person, trying to be, and just trying to grow indeed, you know? And I was trying to think about what contextualizes all that simply. And for me, in order to be excellent in anything, you have to be courageous. And being courageous, I love the aspect of courage, because courage acknowledges fear. Some people like to be like, I ain't scared of shit. I can't. I'll be fronting if I told you that. Right. That'd be a coping mechanism, a deflection for me if I told you that. Right. You know, like, I ain't scared. I don't know. But in reality, I am scared. I have fear. But with that being said, I also have courage to approach this. You know, to know that this is how I feel. This is what I understand, the risk of these things. And yet, you know, I want to take that step towards it, you know? And so, and I want to celebrate that aspect of folks who dare to dream, who dare to, you know, to have aspirations, but not just dare it to do that dream, but to try to work towards it, try to make it happen. Because it's not going to be an easy thing, because there's also going to be some failures. There's going to be things that didn't happen the way you wanted to, but there's also going to be some things, if you really are about the process and understanding, that's going to work out. And you have to take those steps. You have to at least, you know, in that towards the end of the set, you have to at least try, at least at the minimal. And you have to celebrate the aspect of trying and effort. And so that's kind of where I was trying to go through. It's just like, understand that, you know, I think the journey through my pieces, they all came together. I think there was like, in my head, the way I wrote them, there was like 4 or 5 different pieces. I think I've fused some sections together to make it seem like they're one piece. But I remember starting, you know, like the first step is the furthest, that little hook, and then the damn, and just trying to understand, like, you know, all these different. I think the first line of that, the damn, felt the damn in Florida Evans' voice, like the victim of a scam. Good times was never the choice. Shattered the space of surroundings. Prescribed burns for the crops that seeds are found in. Start anew. The tab conveys soul explorations are overdue. So you have to explore yourself. You know, these soul explorations are overdue. That's what needs to happen. You know what I mean? Amongst all these different things, that means, all right, let's just begin again. Let's start and like, let's explore our soul, and then just trying to go and even after that, you know, I kind of acknowledge, I said, in the mix of grief, bite down to achieve some port of peace. The belief relief is just the fiber thread away. The world is a stage, and sometimes we don't want to play. Trying to acknowledge where we at and even what's going on, but still, how do you persevere past that?
And I'm gonna pass it to Lens right after this. Is also the line that really stood out is like, you know, self-betrayal is treason. You know, there's that aspect, and then the other, when you end it off, is like, it is not naive to believe in me.
How is it naive to believe?
Or how is it naive? Yeah.
Yeah, how is it naive to believe in me? And in that sense, it's because sometimes when it all comes down to, you have to believe in yourself some way or some form, even amongst the doubt, even amongst all these different things. And some folks, even when you're not where you want to be, or, you know, like, how can it be naive to still believe in yourself? Because if you don't believe in yourself, nothing's going to happen. So how can it be naive? No matter how much, the things aren't working the way I wanted to, but it's part of the process. If it's part of the process, how is it naive?
Yo, that's really powerful and encouraging, because I know for myself being there where I've been at places where I don't even trust myself, right? Like you lose perspective and you doubt and you don't trust yourself. Yet at the same time, nothing will happen in my life if I don't do it. You know what I mean? If I don't believe myself and I don't do it, like there wouldn't be I Believe Dreamers. Like this wouldn't be a thing if I didn't have some belief in myself. But also deeper than that is that there's like a source. There's something that is in me that is driving me, and I have to believe in that. I have to believe in the process, and in my nature.
I mean, like, it's like the one thing that I would not tell a dreamer to do, because it's not for me to tell them. I'm not going to tell them not to doubt themselves. I'm not going to tell you that. But I'm going to try to show you access points of how great you can be. Because sometimes doubt is, we might use the word doubt, but it's just trying to acknowledge, okay, what's in front of me. But that doesn't have to negate to say that you do not have the tools to overcome that.
And a lot of times,
like
sorry for cutting you off. A lot of times that doubt is because you have awareness of that greatness, your awareness of where you're trying to go. And at times that doubt is just because you see your gaps, and that's not really a bad thing. Everyone has that. That's your edge. And it kind of, at least for me, that's how I've been taking in doubt more. It's like, okay, I'm just aware of where I need to go further.
Indeed. It is that awareness, but it's as well as like, and sometimes it throw you off when you think that you're not where you're supposed to be. And like, we get so caught up about our aspirations. Do not have to devalue aspirations in any type of way or form, but as well as don't forget what you have, and truly acknowledge what is there, what is going on. And I think like that energy of doubt can just be more like, I'm just acknowledging. It doesn't have to be something that is doubt shouldn't necessarily be negative self-talk, it shouldn't be that. Doubt can be awareness rather than doubt, just in the sense of like, I can't. It should be awareness of like, this is what's trying to tell me that I can't. But that what it's trying to tell you is also, I don't want to necessarily say this, but I'll say this for like convenience. It's a lie, that what's trying to tell you can't is a lie. You are allowing them to tell you what you can't. And as well as you are saying what you can't, we don't realize how much choices we do have. And how we navigate and how we appreciate what we do have and how we can reach out for what we want to. But yeah,
I realized that because we always talk, it's easy for us to just talk back and forth. Like you inspire me just to talk, but I want Lens to share stuff. The last thing I'll say in that note is like doubt. It's similar to what you're saying about courage. Courage acknowledges that you're gonna have fear, and if you're gonna believe, like you're gonna acknowledge that there is actually, or having faith inherently, there has to be some type of doubt. That's just a part of it. You acknowledge it. But I'm curious, like Lens, I'm curious if there's any like comments or questions that you have for our real model here, David Delisca.
Yeah, for sure. I hold on. Yeah, just want to make sure my mic's all good. For sure. I just want to say thank you for like your background, David. At first I was like, I was listening to the conversation and stuff, but it literally took me like out of this office space and just like, I don't know, it really just put me somewhere else. But I guess the question I have is that like the dreamers, whether or not they knew it to this extent, like there was a pretty decently large audience that was going to hear from like different parts of everywhere. So with that being said, whether you expected it or not, you knew that your pieces were going to be heard by like other people. So my question to you is kind of like, what you said you wanted to make sure that it was something important and that like kind of like a piece of you went into it. So what was it that inspired you to give the message you did, knowing that it'd be spread to different people kind of around the world?
Uh, man, I think this is just my curiosity. If I'm being honest, like if I'm doing something for not necessarily for someone, but like if I am part of a project, a part of it, something, I'm very much more selfless in the sense of like I'm not in my ego. Like I'm like whatever is like there is there. I'm here to for that creative space, that creative ability to think in that type of form and whatnot. And so it's like, yo, let me create, let me think, let me feel. And I think I'm more free form. Usually when I'm doing my own project, I'm so hesitant, like a mug, I get all up in my way. So I guess it's also a reminder for myself, in that type of sense, so it's like really like, yo, let me speak to myself directly, indirectly. I'm no direction. I mean, directionally, you know, all these different ways. And so I think it was like, it did serve for self first, because like I'm saying, in a project, if it's for me, that I'm just like I'm very more hesitant. But when I am in a place where my sharing is embraced, and it's like I have, which is weird, I have no time to like really doubt myself then, or like I have a lot of time to doubt myself when I'm just me. Like, hey,
Yo,
Dave, what's up? It's us again. But
yo, it's funny
it's
because
doing
I
something. I just like to contribute. It's just like, and I just like to contribute perspective, and I do know that I have skills and talents, and I just try to contribute as well.
yeah, my bad. I actually my thing kind of froze. So in case that happened to y'all, it was unstable for a second. And I've been at right beside you shows. I've been there before, and you're planning, and I've seen how nervous you get and how you like go through things. And a lot of times I'm kind of there, like I feel like you're like boxing, and I'm there, like, yo, you'll be good. You got this fight. Do your thing. And this one, it was cool that I felt your calm energy throughout it. I felt it. And as well as like you're able to like meet with Tamaj and I and just kind of like workshop pieces and just be there, that support. And it really did feel like you were outside of yourself. It wasn't really necessarily about you. And it was ironically, it was about like the people right beside you.
Yeah.
Right. And that was really, that was like, yo, man, thank you. I think I don't like, I big you up a lot, but I'm not sure how much I just like say just like thank you for being who you are, and like never not listening, never not showing love,
Oh
always.
man. Always indeed. Love always. Love, 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 man. Thank you, brother. That really that mean a lot. We was gonna get to the emotional shit. But
I know I didn't even expect that joy, but
yo, I might just put in the Visine, dog. You gonna get my eyes off. Nah, like
this is the comedian. Yo, okay, so I'm gonna go to this next piece that I love to talk about, and I'm gonna first share like a bit of my experience of the premiere because we actually watched it together.
yeah.
And yeah, that was really fun. And I found myself during your performance, like it really felt like a live performance. This is the thing that's so funny to me is like I watched everything. I put it all together. Like I've already seen it multiple times. But when it got to your performance, anyone that's ever seen me at like a spoken word show or maybe Rise or something like that, they see sometimes when I get really riled up in performance, I'll stand up and I'll be like, okay, all right, yo, Fab. I was standing up like, okay, preach. Yep. And then I even got to my knees, like, yes. So that was just fun experience. And to have you there, like it felt a little bit awkward because like
Oh no, it wasn't like that's how I was feeling in my head, but I was just I was more chill for different particular reasons. But
Word.
it was definitely like in my head, like I was watching it like, oh, because as you remember, I was kind of like singing the hooks that could have happened, like not the hooks, the ad libs.
Mm-hmm.
And like I was just even looking at like I'm like, oh man, like because when I do perform, and I just try to be there for the moment. And then when I was reflecting, and I was like, oh, so this what like to like that's when I knew the base of it was like super great, because like if it's so great with this the base level of like this performance, like obviously if I'm being honest, obviously I wish that I had those pieces memorized, but in the context of just using poetry and being in that moment, it's not, it doesn't take away. But for myself, I wish that I definitely had it memorized. But just so watching it afterwards and taking it in and just like it was like, oh, they like things dope, man. Like you're like because yeah, obviously sometimes you can over analyze yourself, and I try not to waste words too much, and I try not to like be all here and there and all that stuff. And so it was cool to watch and see the direction I was there and put on my glasses now. Because, but anyways, yeah, yeah, it's kind of cool to see that because I was trying to make sure that it was a set that had a journey, and that's the intention. And so to watch it and to realize, oh, it did have a journey, and to see that validation was great, fantastic.
And I will, before Lens hop in here, and how amazing, at least for me, when I was like putting it together, how amazing that the journey, that it spoke perfectly to the entire journey. So you had a journey in your piece, but then when you
Yeah.
look at like the whole Dreamers showcase and the Dreamcatchers concert, like it's like it was an anchor, because you're also in like the middle. It was like an
Yeah.
anchor of like, this is what's going on here.
Yeah.
This is the context, and that was a lot of fun to just to like how, even though we're coming from like, we start off in Ottawa to Toronto to Boating, Sault Ste. Marie, to even someone at the end of Thunder Bay, like,
Yeah.
and how it came together was a lot of fun.
Facts.
Lens man, you got any final cues? I think this will probably be our last like questions, comments, and that kind of thing.
I am glad this is the last one, because I was going to say this kind of sounds like a wrap-up question, but okay. So just trying to figure out how I'm going to word it. So I heard David, I saw, well, that I can remember, I saw David for the first time during the very first IBLV sessions, like probably prior to the ones where we actually started the workshop, kind of just like the connect and shows, whatever. Like, cool guy, whatever. Connect and shares, he shared a few pieces, and I'm like, damn, like this guy's like, he's got it and stuff. So then I was hosting the connection shares for the Harvest Moon workshop. Dave was the only one that came through. And I'm like, man, we're gonna stay here for 20 minutes. It's gonna be late. No one else showed up. Me and David talked for like an hour and a half or something, and like he's always listening. He's just like, yeah, like he's just like, you're really wise. So the question is very general, but just from your point of view, to the viewers who could be possible dreamers themselves, advice, like just words of wisdom. Yeah.
Oh man, words of wisdom. Man, if I was to call it wisdom, I feel egotistical. I can give perspective. But man, I guess like if I was to drop any type of wisdom for dreamers is, here's the ego response. Because this is just jokes to me. Watch my set.
Yo, facts. I was thinking the same thing just now. Yo, bro, legit. I was thinking like, yo, watch the set. Like, it's all there. Watch it. Subscribe.
So subscribe, like, repost. If you want to understand, if you want some advice, that's the, but on the real, I think, honestly, take care of yourselves in all ways. And like in the different types of ways. Taking care of yourself doesn't mean, look for the easy way out, or whatnot. Taking care of yourself is acknowledging your strengths, acknowledging what challenges that you can overcome as well. I mean, acknowledging the challenge, but also knowing that you can overcome those challenges, and as well as taking time to take considerations into different things, and as well as the one thing that I would say that I wish that I had more of: urgency. Be urgent. But when you have the ability to, be mindful of yourself and your goals and your journey, as well as treat yourself well, talk to yourself well, talk to yourself well, talk to yourself in good spirits, see the positivities in yourself. It is, sometimes I felt like I call myself a reflective person, but if you're going to be reflective, be positive too. It doesn't have to absolve the challenges at all. But positivity is like, okay, I've had these challenges, but I also know that I can overcome this. I can address this. So truly taking care of yourself is the advice that I would have, truly. Um, and using your resources to help take care of yourself. Sometimes resources is you, sometimes it's people, sometimes it's things, sometimes it's mindset, but using your resources and that. So yeah, like, cool, take care of yourself. All right, I got you, bro. I'm gonna go take care of myself. All right, how do I take care of myself? Do I listen to Drake Take Care? I mean, if that's what you have to do, then do it. That's your resource. If I do, I, you know what I'm saying, like, be mindful of what it is that you're going through and want to go through, could go through. Be appreciative of what you have to give. Everyone brings something to the table. Everyone is bringing something to the cipher. Every single person in this world. You know, I like to say this thing where, like, the most powerful thing you can do, the most powerful thing that you're doing right now is to exist. Your existence is the most powerful thing you can do, because anything that happens is a result of that. Anything that it seems impossible or possible that you've done is a result of your existence, and your existence is not tied to breath. You existed before your first breath, and you exist and you continue to exist after your last breath. Live on in legacies and memories and things that you've done for people or done for the world, or and some stuff probably don't even be known, but there's a shift and there's some type of power. And we look at what the world is. The world is a big old space, but it's also I don't think of the world as in vastness when it comes to area and space. I think of it in the context of what's happening. Like the world here between us three, it's a whole world of experiences, of knowledge, a whole world of fears and joys, a whole lot of different things that's happened that's converged in this opportunity at this moment. So with three people, a whole world. Whoa. You know what I mean? And so with that, and so E and all three of us has a ability to influence how this world is shaped and whatnot. So that means how powerful we are to shift these different types of worlds and whatnot and stuff. You even having you even bigging up someone could change their whole life, you know, or you saying something negative, something can really, you know, kind of put them off for a good, you know, time. Like, dang, and you didn't even know it was like that you did that. So our existence is so powerful, and understanding that. So that's why we have to take care of ourselves. So that's probably the wisdom that I would, you know.
Yo, he dropped some gems with that. Yo, Lens, that was a loaded question for sure. And yo, give thanks to everyone that's taking this in. And I hope that y'all are really taking that in. And what's amazing is those that are taking in right now as we're premiering it, like, thank you. Drop something in the comments. Say what up to Lens, to David Delisca. Give thanks. But also the future generations, you know, like you talked about legacy. Like, I feel like all we're doing right now is a legacy piece. And the intention in this legacy and my prayer is that it really does uplift the world, you know, it uplift the world. And when you're on your darkest days, remember, that's when you're the brightest, you know, you can be the brightest.
Midnight sun.
Yeah. Man, we're gonna wrap this up.
Before we wrap this up, I know Lens pointed out our artwork in the back, so I wanted to make sure I shout out to Romare Bearden, one of my favorite artists. He's a collage artist, and so I wanted to make sure I shout him out in that sense. So yeah, I wanted to make sure I do that.
Oh, dope. Because literally I was going to ask, like, anything else you want to say?
My bad. I just wanted to make sure. Yeah, but outside of that, you know, give thanks for this this time. Give thanks for the ability to create. I think, with the exception of the last piece to try, everything I created was mindful of this project, and so that was kind of cool to be able to explore my mind and explore what my emotions and my feelings and my perspectives. And so I thank you for giving me that opportunity to do so. So
that's a respect. Maybe last question is there anything that we should be looking out for? Anything you want to like plug?
Man, I'm one of those people that, like, you know, I don't charge my phone and it'd be dead because I can't find the outlet sometimes. So I don't know what to plug in right now. But just watch the performance. Subscribe to all of the to IBLV's make sure that you stay in tune, and as well as join the dreamers, join us in our journey. I mean, all of us, whether you're part of it or witnessing, are dreamers in some type of way, in some form. And then sometimes being around other dreamers or interacting with some dreamers in some way, some form, help fine tune our own dreams. And so please engage, share, like, holla, whatnot. That's probably the only thing I would really say. I know you want me to plug my own stuff, but I suck at that type of stuff. Just watch my video. You know what I mean? And if you care to follow me, all the social media stuff is available, and we have some stuff coming out. But I just don't want to say dates and stuff. Just follow the energy of being a dreamer, follow the collective, if you can, and I promise you'll reap a bunch of rewards.
Big ups, it's worth it. Yeah, follow at Delisca, and look out for Right Beside You. That's an ongoing thing. Actually, I'm just gonna say right now, I grew up right beside you. Look it up on Google by David Delisca. That's his first chapbook. Take it in. I'm looking forward to another chapbook, hopefully soon. And I want to definitely give this opportunity for Lil Bro. Lil Bro, I know you got some new music that's gonna come out at some time. So I'm probably gonna play some of your music in the background right here. But any words from the young leader, Lens, man?
Last words. The last words are, just look out for new music on all platforms. If you really want the OG stuff, you can go to SoundCloud. And thanks for tuning in with Jermaine, Lens, David Delisca, all that.
Man, Lens, what happened to your hair, your goatee, and your like?
What?
I felt like you were going up a more like. Did you trim a bit? Is that what happened?
Yeah, he's still recording. It's okay. You're gonna have this for your little background clip. I've never shaved anything aside from my sideburns ever.
Oh, that's what it was. The sideburns. That's probably it. All complemented everything. Maybe that's probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
light.
All right, bless up, man.
Yeah, bless up to y'all. Yeah, check out Anti-Social Experiment. That's Lens's first mixtape.
Let's get it.
Thanks again for everyone tuning in. Subscribe, I Believe Dreamers. Follow us on IBLV TV, and we'll see you next time. One love, peace, love, and
one love. Hopefully there's no copyright on that.
The first step is the furthest. It takes courage to be nervous. Dreamwalker, feel your way through. None of it is worth